You've been in town for 7 years?
Almost 6 years.
Yeah. Almost 6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
How long have you been working with Jeff?
I worked with Jeff for longer than I've been in town. I'm working with Jeff for almost 7 years.
Oh, okay. Well, I tell people the opposite.
Oh, really?
Anyways,
same.
I just want to talk. Just as someone who is probably more on the business side of the music industry, I respect the hell out of him. I think he just what a lot of people don't know is he actually has another job too. So he does Spencer Crandall LLC, and he does this other job that he has, and he's just it's what's really cool about that is and what's really cool about I think people like us is that he's not like a music. He didn't go to Belmont, he's not some music industry. He hasn't come up through the ranks. He's just kind of doing what makes sense. And what you guys have now had some time, and over the last 2 years, things have really taken off. Mm-hmm. But I want to hear you speak to what did those early years mean to you? Do you think that because something that you said earlier is that something you and Jeff talk about is you have to execute what you planned yesterday, plan for the next day. You guys have come up with these mechanisms now that are creating success.
Yeah.
What did that look like in the early years? And because a lot of people are going to look at you and be like, wow, blew up on TikTok.
Yeah. Some people will use the word overnight.
Overnight success.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
Which it never happens. You can't create a quality organization or business, which this Spencer Crandall thing
very much
is becoming.
Yeah.
You can't do that just overnight. It won't work.
No.
So what did the early years, what do they mean now? Do you feel like looking back, how are you guys setting yourselves up for the success you're having now?
I mean, we failed so much, and I talk about this a lot, and I don't think people actually understand. I think they think it's just something that people say.
Like a pitch point?
Yeah, but dude, I've had 2 EPs that have been erased from the internet because they're that bad. Jeff and I put out a ton of music. I think in my career, after this next project, there's a chance we're close to 100 songs. And yeah, and that's the reality of it is we just dared to fail faster than other people. Yeah. While I have so many friends who are still working on this first EP. It's for 6 years, dude, just wait. And I was I think I just got to put this out. And even sometimes I would be putting something out. I'm I don't think it's the next Sam Hunt or the next Maren Morris, but I got to try. And I put it out, and I'd feel the genuine reaction and be self-aware enough to react. And Jeff, the fact that he jumped in when he did, when I didn't have stuff going on, the fact that he stood by and continues to stand by my side through failures and through my shortcomings, which there's a lot of them. And the fact that he understands my vision and then amplifies or multiplies that vision, for real. Cause a lot of artists give something to their managers and they just make it a shitty version of it. Because they want it to be safe, or they want it to be palatable or commercial.
Yeah.
Jeff's never been really worried about that. He's always fan focused, and I've always loved that about him. I've always really respected that about him. He's dude, the industry will come. And it's true. The highway came because the fans were there.
Yeah.
Spotify came because the fans were there. The fans are the ones who buy tickets to shows. The fans are the ones who change your life. All that other stuff is whatever. And so when we sit down to brainstorm, Jeff is really good at no. Don't worry about that. What is the thing that you want to do, that you want to say, that you think are going to blow your fans' minds? Dope. Let's do that. No sacrifices. And okay, money's an issue. Well, let's find out the closest way to that thing as possible. And he's just really good at pushing me, as a human being. I have a tattoo of 2 little swords on my wrist, and it's a Bible verse. that talks about as iron sharpens iron, so does one man to another. And I can't think of a better example of a person in my life that sharpens me and that like dares me to be better than Jeff. And he's been that way since the get. He's radically honest with me, like at all times. Like, I don't like that shirt. That second verse doesn't do anything for me. Not meaning that he's always right.
Right.
But I know for a fact if I need tough love or whatever, I can go to Jeff and get what I actually need. Not what I say that I need or like what I kind of want in the moment, but long term is going to be good for me. I know that Jeff is going to give me, you know, the real version of what it needs to be in my life, whether that's criticism or candor or a combination of the two. So, yeah, I can get like almost emotional talking about Jeff because we are at this point pretty much manager, artist, married.
Yeah.
He really is like, you know, my person on that side of things.
Maybe why you haven't.
Maybe why I haven't found love is because I've dedicated so much of my love to my manager, Jeff Cherry. But like he is, you know, and then obviously beyond music, like he's just a great friend.
Yeah.
Like we have done so much life together now. And like he went from a guy who I felt awkward staying in the same hotel room as him. Like I would go in the other room to like change my pants because I'm like, I don't know this guy. To he'll be at my wedding.
Yeah.
And that's a really like we both dared to go on that journey together and we never really even thought about, all right, I'll speak for myself, bowing out at any point.
Yeah.
We just kind of always trusted the process of put something out that you think is great, gather data, reload.
Yeah.
And don't overthink it. And I think around like the summer of 2017, we were like, what should we do? What should we do? And then we noticed like 6 months went by and we were just talking about shit. And we were like, bro, we got to become like practitioners. We just got to start doing shit. That's when everything changed. Everything changed when Jeff and I sat down and went, all right, let's put out a song and let's do this and let's do this. And like all of a sudden, not that we were more successful, we just had so many more at-bats. And those at-bats were so informative. And then we actually started getting better because you learn through failure and you learn through loss. Jeff and I lost a lot in that like next year. But that's where Wilderness came from. And through Wilderness and all the other projects, now this next thing, which I can't say the name of, is coming next. And like people are going to look back at even Wilderness and be like, holy shit, this really went to a different level. And in the grand scheme of my career, no one's going to remember the Spencer Crandall EP that came out in 2015 that got taken down. But we were brave enough to do that, knowing that we're going to have a greatest hits album someday because we put out 10 albums along the way.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of that's because of Jeff and the way that he thinks and the way that he acts and his kind heart.